started. Hello, everyone. This is Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert, once again, back with some more life-saving tidbits about how to take control of your life, take control of your health. So you can't control your life unless you first manage and master your health. And so today, I'm going to introduce a little bit more about my future online holistic True Health Academy that I'll be setting up pretty soon. You know, I'm at the last stages of editing my book, and so that will have been the 6th book that I will be publishing. So I've got the two books that I'll be publishing soon. If you look at my other videos, then you'll see how I talk about them and go into them in a little more depth. But today, I thought I would discuss a little about how your children are doing and the future of children in this country and in the world. A lot has happened to us in this existence. We have been bombarded with a lot of negative ideas and a lot of negative types of influences in our society, and they're coming at us from all different directions all of our lives. So I wanted to give people a foundation as to where to start to begin to reverse all of these untruths that have been imposed on us that affect our health especially, and affect how we think and affect how we think we should behave and how we should conduct our lives. You know, this is getting very intense right now. A lot of pressure is being put on parents, especially on how to raise their children, and educational system has had, you know, a very powerful impact on our children. My children are adults now, they're in their 30s, and I'm glad that they're not growing up in the educational system that's being pushed on students today. Rather than get political, I just see it from a holistic nutritional healing perspective, that when children are truly put on a very healthy daily nutritional protocol, their behavior, the way they think, the way they learn, their ability to learn and retain information, you know, all of that comes together for them because their biochemistry is optimized. You know, who we are is what we eat, what we ingest, what we absorb. And so this happens at the microcell level. And when we maintain that energy frequency, the way our cells are vibrating at the light energy frequency level, at the submolecular, subatomic, subquantum energy levels, then we are shifting our entire way of seeing things, of how we interpret things, how we interpret our world, how we interpret ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. All of this is affected when our bodies are vibrating at a lower frequency that coincides with illness, depression, you know, inability to learn and inability to have enough cognition to really understand and interpret one's world around them, and how we react to people and how we react to situations. All that plays a role in how healthy our body is and how high it's vibrating at these wellness-associated high frequencies. So this is a physics, you know, kind of concept that there's plenty of information out there on the internet. If you look up the vibrational energy frequencies of the human body or the human cells, and then type in the word Science Journal, you'll come up with a lot of information that will probably satisfy most people, because that's where the credibility is in our civilization, is to really examine how much of something has been, you know, studied and scrutinized in a scientific setting, a legitimate scientific research setting that operates according to standards that the whole scientific community all over the world upholds, information to and aspire to improving whether something is true or false. So, given that very short background on where I'm coming from as far as elevating the vibrational frequency of our human cells through giving the body what it is made out of, high energy frequency, active foods, enzyme active foods, nutrient rich foods, especially in the plant kingdom, and the animals that consume those superior, nutritionally superior plants, so that we are highly nourished as well. So all of our environment and all of everything we put in our body must be raised or grown in a nutrient-rich, ecologically balanced environment. So a lot of us are removed from that, so far removed that no one really understands where food comes from, especially children. If you haven't told your children where food comes from, it's taken for granted that they might have known or might have been exposed to this information by now. But sometimes children, get developing and growing through their school age years, and they still don't really understand the difference between a food that's grown in very poor soils and the crops have been sprayed with synthetic pesticides and herbicides. And so, what they're consuming are these pesticides and the lack of nutrients that are just not present in nutrient void soils, kind of thing. So food production has two genres, really. One is the nutrient void food production, that's mass produced, toxic, nutrient void production of foods. And the other is the regenerative, organic, permaculture, food forest environment, ecology balancing type of food production, which is much, much higher in the nutrients our bodies desperately are searching for every moment in order to fully function. So as we raise our children, it's important to school them and school yourselves. I've done this for 45 years, so and I'm still ongoing researching and learning all the time and keeping up with the new discoveries going on as far as our own nutritional physiology and passing that information on to as many people as I possibly can. So this is all something you must take into consideration when you're raising your children. Parents love their children. They'll do anything for them, and they're doing the best they possibly know how in raising their children. But so much of the time, I find that everyone is walking around very nutrient deprived, and so their cells are vibrating at much lower frequencies that are associated with the degenerative disease process, or passing on less than high quality genetic material or genes in their DNA to their offspring, to their children. And, the toxic environment has taken its toll on each passing, progressing generation. So from one generation to the next, the amount of toxic chemicals that have been accumulated in a person's body has been growing in the last 30 years, especially. So with new technologies, biotechnologies being experimented onto the population without much of the population not realizing that that's what's going on, it has been affecting the health of the human population. And so, in more radical circles, they talk about, the dumbing down of the population, all this kind of thing. And there is some truth to that, because when your genetic codes of instructions in your DNA, all these multiple trillions of cells in your body, they each have their own replica of instructions on how the entire body works. And so these instructions are quite intricate and quite infinitely complex. So if you ever study the human body and you go into the cellular world and then the genetic code in the DNA, you'll see, you'll be stunned at just how complex it really is. So in nourishing your children and making sure that their bodies are not exposed to a lot of these toxic chemicals that do affect their growth and development and their intelligence, and so it also affects the hormones, which means it affects their moods and their ability to learn and their reactions to stress and how they handle stress, and their interactions with other people and their self-esteem, and all that ties into how people perceive their world. which is tied to their biochemistry as much as it is, to their spirituality, which is a whole nother dimension, So, yeah, I want to talk to you a little bit about what I can do to help you become more informed so that you can make sure your child grows up healthy and, up to their higher potential as far as intelligence and their perception of their world and how they interact with others. So adult degenerative diseases are now affecting children at younger and younger ages. Newborns are born with over 200 synthetic chemicals in their little bodies. And so the detoxification process must never be severe. It must be gradual with the plant kingdom especially. Yes, we do need the proteins and the fats and the carbohydrates, but the phytochemical compounds that are in plants, there's 25,000 that's been discovered so far in the plant kingdom. So they also play a huge role in how the body functions and also helps eliminate a lot of these toxins and synthetic chemicals that disrupt all body systems. And so, keeping your child well nourished with the right types of foods and the right molecular structures at the molecular structure at the molecular level, then you'll see the difference in your children compared to, say, other children who aren't highly nourished. So, we need to make sure that you're not giving your babies these toxic chemicals. Okay. So also, if you're planning on having children, you're not pregnant yet, now is the time to begin to gradually, through a healthful diet, high in the plant kingdom, to begin to detoxify the system. Never try a severe detoxification program. They don't work. They make you sick. They release too many of those stored toxic chemicals into the bloodstream, and they cause feelings like you feel like you have the flu, you've got fever, sometimes, and it loosens the bowels terribly, and so you're releasing months or years of stuck fecal matter in the colon kind of thing. So you want to gradually detoxify the body so that within a few months' time, your body is much more ready to begin housing a developing fetus. So, so a lot of these toxic substances can disrupt the reproductive system so that more people are born with birth defects. And this is quoting so much of the scientific research that's been performed in the last 30 years that more than assure someone that this is a legitimate way to avoid, a lot of these diseases, nervous system disorders, also, of course, birth defects, and hormonal issues, cancers, all the systems are affected, especially the major systems, the brain, all these things. So you want to start detoxifying your body right now and just get rid of it before you succumb to one of the diseases that are so rampant in our population today. And you want to prevent that from ever happening in your children. Show them and teach them and demonstrate and be the example for them to admire and to respect and follow. So what I teach is there's shockingly simple steps that you can do to stop your child's health decline. All these time-proven, nutritional healing protocols that I've been putting out for my clients, all of them evidence-based, science-based, well-researched, and so their results always match the science. And also the indigenous peoples who have been carefully, documenting the causes and effects of their applications of foods in the plant kingdom. And so passing on that knowledge from generation to generation has been occurring. And so you put all of those results together and you can be pretty confident that you're doing the right thing for your children. So, I've been educating families for over 45 years. The mission I have is just preventing that future collapse of the quality of life from devastating, people and the whole population from these terrible life-disrupting illnesses, and it's all because of chronic nutrient depletion, widespread inflammation, and, of course, toxicity. So, the school that I'll be opening up in the next couple of months, I will be teaching all about the safest nutritional therapies that I've taken from different cultures and scientists from all over the world who have reported and documented their findings in scientific journals all over the world. So, we're up against a multi-trillion-dollar medical industrial complex, this machine that has been in power over people and making them believe that their way is the only way, where in fact what's an even older system has been in place on Earth for billions of years and have been helping the perpetuation of life to thrive on this planet, and so including humans. So the medical and the pharmaceutical industries are relatively young, and unfortunately, some of them are influenced by negative, entities that are only for profit, and even some claim more sinister agendas. So I don't even want to touch that because that's not my focus. My focus is to undo the damage and teach people to empower themselves to become optimally helpful and to recognize disinformation, false information, damaging, health-threatening information, hazardous information, to be able to decipher all of that and just shove all of that aside and keep it out of your life, keep it out of your choices, so that you only support the corporations or industries that care about humanity and the planet and all life on Earth, and to help prevent these terrible diseases that are caused. The root causes are, just the dysfunctioning of the human body and all the causes that I've just outlined. Okay, so I've been educating families and individuals for a very long time, and I continue to do so as I continue to gather more and more data and information. Also, realizing that we are holistic beings. We are energy beings. So everything we put in our bodies must be of a high vibration as well. Cells or molecules that are vibrating at higher frequencies. We must match our frequencies of how our body vibrates to the Earth and all living things on Earth, so that we can interact and exchange information at the quantum energy level in very, very helpful and beneficial ways. So, getting into the biophysics aspects of it is something that I've been learning about, and I'm very, very fascinated. And I just feel like it adds a whole new dimension to us as human beings. So we're not just of the third dimension; we are multidimensional beings if we interact and react with things of higher frequencies that are of the higher dimensions, as proven through mathematics and physics. So, that's a whole new, wonderful, exciting, not new, it's been around a while, and they're developing and adding to their base of knowledge as well, which is very, very exciting for us as humans, as living beings, as multidimensional spiritual beings. So, onward from the high vibrational frequencies, back down to the third dimension, physical world here, I want to really to teach people all about how the body works and how nutrients interact in the body. That's why I'm a nutritional physiologist. You can learn about the mechanics of the body and all the different body parts and how they interact with other body systems, but to understand what makes them function and what perpetuates their functioning is all back down to the nutrients that we are composed of and that our cells require for their optimal functioning. So this is what I want to teach to the public, is teach them all about nutrition. And it's not just about, the typical dietitian's nutrition. Sorry, I don't mean to put down dietitians out there. There's wonderful dietitians out there that are doing this kind of research too. But I seem to be in the minority as far as the type of nutritionist that is looking at food in a much more complex and much more health beneficial perspective, much more healing, regenerative, health recovery kind of perspective. So some of the safest nutritional therapies in the world are kept hidden from you, so it allows the other medical and drug industries to hone in and just influence you into thinking that's the only way to manage your health. And granted, there are many wonderful drugs out there that do save lives, but unfortunately, it's been infiltrated, just like everything else on all levels of our civilization has been infiltrated with a lot of negative elements in there that are misleading the population, all for the sake of wealth and power kind of thing. So yeah, and even doctors, when they go to school, all those years in medical school, they aren't really taught much about nutrition. They have just a few hours in all of those 8 to 10 years of schooling that they have to go through. And so with all the terrible side effects of these medications, I never tell people to get off drugs, but when I help them nourish their bodies correctly, their symptoms and their conditions always improve. And so they go back to their medical practitioners and they rerun their tests, and their laboratory values go back to normal. They take their patients off of the medications or wean them off gradually and slowly and safely, kind of thing. So, that's not my area of expertise. I don't mess with that. I don't interfere with that. But when the body has a choice of choosing something that's much more compatible for their repair work and regenerative and recovery work back toward optimal functioning, it seems to choose the nutrients, And so if you look up any of your medications on Medline and look at their side effects, I have found that when clients come to me, a lot of their symptoms, a lot of their health issues are the result, or seem to be the result, of the side effects of their meds. So being nourished, correcting a lot of the malnourishment, nutrient deficiencies in the body has always been shown, in my experience, to correct many of these issues in spite of the side effects of their meds. So, this is the only way to get healthy, really, because drugs are not nutrients. They disrupt and they hide, symptoms in their own way. So I'm not here to tell you how drugs work. I'm here to tell you that I've seen how the body chooses and allows it to repair itself and get back to normal functioning, away from that disease process that they were headed, or any kind of other health issues that have come up. So, you want to prevent a lot of these degenerative problems, because if it gets too far, then it's more difficult to reverse it, and it takes a lot more time and energy and focus and discipline, and staying away from all of this misinformation out there, being distracted. When someone is in this process, they're afraid, they're scared, and so they desperately search for things, but they're not informed enough to make the right to do the right research where the real information, the real health recovery information exists. So this is what I've done, is to zero in on all the right information that I have seen, with my own experience and practice, how they actually do help the body restore and recover and get back to normal functioning. Okay, so it takes a lot of research, a lot of years of study, and I've got 3 degrees, going back to college to further my quest for how nutrition heals the body. So it's not just your average nutritional guidelines. It is extensive knowledge into how botanicals work, and they're very, very intricate, very highly complex at the molecular, atomic, subquantum levels, how these plants are interacting with your body at the energy frequency levels. So you have to be aware of that aspect of handling or managing your nutritional health as well. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to show you and teach you and pass on all of this amazing knowledge that I'm so excited about. I've seen the results over and over again for 45 years. It transforms people, absolutely. So something else is going on besides just alleviating their physical ailments. It's for elevating the human spirit as well. So there's more to us and more to the planet and more to its wonderful botanicals that exist here for us. So this is what I want to tie into and help you be so much more inspired and have that excitement that it takes to really improve your health and elevate your life. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot more I can share with you, but I wanted to keep it short as just an introduction. But I will follow up with this concept, this idea, a lot more in detail, and take it even further when I offer courses or when I open up my school. It's also going to serve as a subscription website. So it'll be like a subscription membership that people pay like $11.97 for. I think I'm settling on that monthly fee for this kind of information that goes a lot farther in depth, and also to be able to answer the questions that are out there. People have a lot of questions. I run into this in the Zoom calls, where I'm a guest speaker, twice a month for this one particular company, or people will text me and email me questions. And so I'll actually go into some effort into not just answering the question simply, but to create a complete foundation of understanding as to why they're having these health issues in the first place. So getting the information out there about how the body works and the nutrients that we need, and all of this huge array of nutrient factors that are available to us in the plant kingdom that just doesn't seem to reach the public, for political and financial reasons that I already stated here. So we have to empower ourselves with knowledge to be able to truly protect our health and to produce children, to have the future generations stay healthy also, and knowledgeable too. So this kind of knowledge should be present in everyone should have a whole library of books on nutritional physiology. So also, speaking of books, if you go to my website, holisticchoices.com, you will see in the link on the side that says books by Mary Esther Gilbert. Click on that and you'll see the books that I have published, and about to publish 2 books that are coming up, and I've already explained them in other videos. So please subscribe to my channel so that you're notified whenever I produce new videos. So I want to produce life-saving, fascinating nutritional physiology information all about how the body works and how exciting it is to maintain it and to see the results and see the health building progress that one can make, and the health transformations that are inevitable. It's just how our body is governed by universal forces. We're not aside from that. We're not apart from that. We are a part of that. We're an intricate part of that whole existence. So the universal laws that govern the universe also govern how our cells work in our body, how our DNA performs. We've got all these different forces that are present that are very common in nature that are also common in the universe, like the spirals, the Fibonacci spiral. It's present in, you can see it in sunflowers, especially how the Fibonacci spiral is just like this mathematical formulation that helps plants grow and form these spirals everywhere you see it. You can see that in snails. You can see that, in all these different flowers. You can see that in the vortexes that our weather patterns form. Our DNA is a vortex, and everything that one of the forces is that spiral, that vortex, that the cyclones in nature, that come up. Those are all the vortexes, and that's just one of the universal forces that our bodies are governed by. We can't try to outsmart it or cheat it into thinking that you're going to fix your health issues by trying something else. We have to obey those universal natural forces that are in the universe and in the laws and all of existence. Okay, so we are a part of it, and once we tap into those vibrational frequencies through our wellness and our health transformations, then we will change too. I see a lot of personality changes as far as becoming more inner knowing. I hate that cliche, but it's true. People start realizing more things. They start going inside of themselves and realizing that their knowledge, their wisdom has been there with them all along. They just didn't know how to activate it, and their connection to their own spiritual beliefs are always enhanced, and their interactions with other people are always improved. Relationships sometimes improve if the other party is open to doing the same thing for their health. Then you've got these vibrational frequencies that are in sync with each other, right? So yeah, it all comes together. I see it automatically coming together. A lot of gurus study for years and years and years, just to reach some semblance of that kind of energy vibration. And so, not to knock them, they are phenomenal in their achievements. And so they do tap into the universal, spiritual forces. But this is a much more natural, faster way to do it. You clean out your biological terrain. you optimize the frequency at which your cells vibrate and your cells are operating. And so you're downloading a lot of the universal force of information from the mind of God. The physicists call it the universal intelligence, the loving forces that are permeating us all the time. So, it all is so fascinating, so amazing. And you see it at work when the body is transformed this way. And so this is the way to do it. It's just enjoy your foods, eat only the most nutrient-dense, optimally nourished foods that are grown in these very nutrient-dense environments, these balanced ecologies. That's why the permaculture methodologies are so great. They're even more, their food that's grown in those environments, those food forest environments, are much more nutritious than the monoculture, row by row, single crop kind of thing, where it's just not balanced. They're more prone to diseases and that kind of thing, and then pesticides are applied, and it just accelerates that problem. But even organic foods that are grown in traditional row by row crops, those can be, prone to these infestations of unwanted insects. But if you put everything in an ecosystem where you have all these different layers of plants, and so you invite all of the animals that help contribute to a balanced ecosystem, and the whole thing becomes, even the soil life becomes active, and so it's more likely to gather the nutrients that's needed to produce much more healthy food, and that's where we should be enjoying our food. Those foods are much more tasty. They taste delicious compared to something that's grown in the monoculture, environment. And so yeah, just get to know this kind of thing, and I'm here for you to answer your questions and to offer the courses in this new, venue that I'll be offering to everyone to hang out at. And so let's form a community of optimally healthful human beings that thrive on this planet and help enact all of the changes that we need in the world, be the change that we need in this world. It all starts with our cells, our choices, and how our cells are vibrating, kind of thing. So anyhow, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging in here with me until the very end. I'm really thrilled to see that people actually do watch the full length of my videos. I'm so glad to know that. And also, please do subscribe and get some more information like this whenever, I'm going to be producing a lot more. As you can see, I think this is like my third one in January alone. I just want to get so much information out there to people and have them experience what it's like to be vibrantly healthful. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here. Like, share, subscribe, tap the notification bell. Go to my website, holisticchoices.com. There's more videos there, and there's more information there for you to enjoy. And that way, and you can even fill out the contact form. Just put your email address in there and your name. And then when the school is ready to go, I can just send out a group email to all of you, and you can be informed. All right, so talk to you later. Thanks for being here. And in true health, I bid you a great week.